Hey, Shalom, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. This is Rob Ma from the Nebraska camp. This is GMS on any Fort Nebraska. Can we hit some of them lights, more of them lights real quick, or lift them up? Yeah, just a little bit more lighting. Yeah. Some more? Yeah, all of them. Hit on. That's on the side, like it's on the side of the light. Is a little bitty trigger on the light switch itself.
Oh, that's the other. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Little trigger.
Yeah. So Salakia. Yeah, man. This lesson is titled "In Our Calamity." You know, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai was always with us. You know, and really we're permeating this off of Matthew's 24 and 15. You know, on our scattering. All right, because it wasn't like these were situations of circumstance. It was cause and effects based off of Jake rebelling and things of that nature. Okay. So one of the portions that I wanted to make a stop at was King Cyrus and the rebuilding of the temple, you know, and really Nebuchadnezzar also. I just didn't make time to go into that aspect, you know, but the Syrian Empire, that was a cause and effect. Nebuchadnezzar, that was a cause and effect. You know, the Lord didn't just say, you know what, I'm about to just destroy the temple and see how y'all react to it. It wasn't on that account. It was more on the account of, you know, Jake triggered that situation. Okay. And it goes into in the book of Baruch, you know, if any brother can pull up an account on that, it even tell you in the book of Baruch, I believe it's in chapter 2, really chapter the whole book, but the first 3 chapters, I tell you, you know, pretty much Jake was rebelling, man. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord would then pretty much turn his back. All right, because it says in Jeremiah, let's get that. Jeremiah, turn my back on, not my face. I believe it's in Jeremiah, but I know it's.
This is Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 17. It says, I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity.
You see? So when the Lord does that, it's similar to not having the Ark of the Covenant, you know, things of that nature. The Lord, you know, would leave us hanging pretty much. He won't back us up. And he really give leave and let the floodgates open to these heathen. Okay. And a lot of it has like, it's crazy because the Lord's a master chess player, to where the things that King David did was damn near an incentive at times, you know, to you know, treat Israel a certain way. Because King David was subduing all these heathen, man. He had above the foot and all kind of stuff, man. All right. Can we get that Jeremiah 32 and 33 as well? That's a good one. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's us to him. That's us to him. So like that was perfect. That was the one I was looking for. I was trying to get a little bit more off of it. All right. So let's go into Matthew's chapter 24, verse 15, because you know this is it's kind of stemmed off of vocab speaking on the book of Acts and how speaking in tongues, he said that's the reverse of Babylon and making everything right again, talking about the ancient Babylonian Empire when it was you know, trying to make everything all one language, and the Lord dispersed it. Matter of fact, let's get that scripture. Through much knowledge, the Lord had divided the nations. You know, now what's crazy is now the Lord is going to reunify everybody, have everybody under one umbrella, but it ain't gonna be the umbrella of democracy. It's gonna be the umbrella of the Bible. All right. And it's gonna still be order because the Israelites are still gonna be the Israelites. That's the umbrella. The Israelites are the chosen ones. They're the ones that's going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. All right. But the heathen, and it's the thing that people have to understand, like, just because you're not having a part in the kingdom don't mean that the kingdom is non-existent. That don't make any sense, because a king has to have servants. Okay. And when you go into King Solomon, he was one of them people that ran the kingdom similar to the kingdom of heaven. He had all the heathen doing the undesirable jobs, man. They had, the Israelites armored up and doing all the more important jobs, man. It remind me of, Game of Thrones, like the Lannisters, man. The Israelites, even though, one of the guys ruling the Lannisters always had this like prestigious position, and you could be a knight, or you could be like this, and you know what I'm saying? Or if you was of a good family, you'll be automatically in this hierarchy of a position, and that's how it is going to be in the kingdom of heaven, that Israelites are going to have all the prestigious jobs. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is that Jake act like they can't get that through their head, but Esau do that through his nepotism. He makes sure that all his people got the right jobs. All right. Because it's not like nobody's incapable. It's just that, you ain't my people.
Somehow a lot of the presidents is related to one another.
Mm-hmm.
It's not by chance they just got in office. They keeping it amongst their people.
The waterfall concept with the Rothschilds, where they get life insurance policies and then had that policy go into the bank, and they'll use that bank money to loan it out. But when you die, all your policies go into there. So it's like you're constantly feeding your own self. All right. But they give you the false ideology of everybody can make it, okay, or everybody has a chance through democracy, But we'll let's get to it though.
It's Sirach 33:10, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse.
That's right. So the Lord in much knowledge made our ways diverse, man. All right, we're separated. All right, and there's no prophecy outside of Esau going down and Israelites coming back up. All right, and ruling the earth and everybody being underneath their foothold. Matter of fact, let's get that. What is that? Nation shall flow into, the the forces of the Gentiles and things like that.
I get the last precept.
Yeah.
Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself.
Yeah, some of them have he sanctified and set near himself. And that's the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the children of Israel, that were sanctified and set near himself. Okay.
But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places.
Yep. And that's, the heathen, and to be straightforward, because everybody ain't that y'all gotta get out that democracy spirit, man. I'm human and you, we should all be treated the same. No, there's levels, man. And the thing is that the democracy is a farce, because you go to work, there's levels. You know what I'm saying? You go anywhere, there's levels. There's managers, there's supervisors, there's general managers, regional managers. But then they'll tell you everybody equal. Like, the difference between your supervisor and your manager. You know what I'm saying? Or the owner of the company.
Your ass too.
Act like y'all can't grab the concept when the Lord dictates order. The screen is killing me.
It says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. So just proving the Lord is the one who orchestrates all of this. He orchestrates. What do he say? I bring it, I kill it, and I make it alive. I bring it up, I bring it down. So nobody is poor without the Lord, and nobody is rich and up high without the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even the sparrows don't fall from without his sin.
Okay. Lord's in control of everything. And that's the point, is that even when the Lord turned his back on us, he was still in control. He just let somebody else have the joystick, man. you know, and it started off with the Assyrian Empire. All right, and with all these, because the thing is, we are the chosen. We are the ones that are meant to rule the world. We're the ones that are meant to control everything. And anytime we start deviating, the Lord breaks that staff. You know what I'm saying? And he let us be trampled on. And the main thing they always do is they always spread out and scatter us, man. You know, and it started mainly with the Assyrian Empire, and then it went on to the Babylonian Empire, and then the Medo-Persian Empire. All right, and then the Roman, the Greco-Roman, and I don't mean it as they're the same, because you know, not the Grecian Empire with Alexander. You know, it really wasn't too much scattering, but the Roman Empire, it kind of bled into that, you know, because the Grecian is more adaptive, you know, to where the scattering happened by, you know, the Hellenization of Israelites. You know, it wasn't like they displaced us to spread us out. They took us in, and that spreaded us out. All right. But even in the Babylonian Empire, they take people and they leave people. You know, they took Daniel. Matter of fact, let's get that. They took the nobles. You know what I'm saying? See if I can find it. Anybody see anything on it? Because I don't want to.
This is Jeremiah chapter 27, and let me see. I'll start at verse 19. It says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts concerning the pillars, and concerning the sea, and concerning the bases, and concerning the residue of the vessels that remain in the city, which Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon took not when he carried away captive Jeconiah the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, from Jerusalem to Babylon, and all the nobles of Judah and Jerusalem."
There you go. So the thing is that, and it's no different in whatever timeline. When the World War happened, they took nobles. They took them German scientists. You know what I'm saying? These people take it's not a standard of war, but it's a tactic that's used in order to uplift your society, because you got to understand, this king is like Monopoly, man. You think I'm gonna just take Boardwalk and not use it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got 18 hotels on this joint. Like, nah, bro, I'm about to figure out how you ran these hotels so well. And the only way I can figure it out is to get the engineers that built it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna use that. And so that's how a lot of the scattering happened, because you got to think about, okay, the scattering happened, but Jake was still in Jerusalem. There was Israelites still in Israel. You know, the Assyrians, when they displaced, they'll leave some Jake in there, and it was pretty much the poor, you know what I'm saying, to really maintain the land. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they took all the important people out and left all the regular people, you know what I'm saying, all the poor people, you know, and those people maintain that land, you know. But Israel always had that light within them. No matter what, the Lord was always with us. The Spirit of the Heavenly Father, we never got detached from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and He always left that opening for us. Okay, anybody got something?
Yeah. This is Matthew 24:15. It says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place."
Yeah. So that abomination of desolation, by spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, is talking about Titus. Okay.
"Whosoever readeth, let him understand."
And the reason it was spoken of by Daniel's, because we're going into Daniel's 9 and 24. Okay. And Daniel's 9 and 24. The hell? Come on, now there we go. Daniel's 9 and 24. It goes into the 70 weeks. Okay. And the 70 weeks pretty much will tell you that's from the timeline of King Cyrus rebuilding the temple unto Titus, okay? And Cyrus rebuilding the temple, we wanted to make a pit stop there because, like I said, at the Syrian captivity through was it Sennacherib, I believe, was reading on. Let's see, let me double check. Who was that? It was Sennacherib that he was going against the Egyptians, and I believe it was Hezekiah that was paying tribute, and he decided not to. And when he decided not to, that pretty much, I believe Sennacherib it started a beef, and it was Israel was beefing with Israel, and then he came to help one side, and then he was like, you know what, I'm just about to take all this shit. And then when he did that, he took the important nobles of Israel then. All right, just like Nebuchadnezzar took the important nobles, because guess who was part of that the nobles? Daniel. All right. I forget that, what's his alternate name they used? Was it Belshazzar?
Yeah.
And you go ahead, because I said I was gonna remember it.
Shoot. Azariah, Mishael, and Hananiah.
Okay, cut. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It's just, man, it's the world, man. That's funny. Yeah, I said, but they took them, those are nobles, and that was great insight, showing you how when we were scattered, how we were treated when we were scattered. Okay. And that when we were treated in certain ways, meaning they took the nobles, you're taking Daniel and making him your right-hand man. So now when he's your right-hand man, the Most High is dealing with him and showing him, because these kings will have these nobles and have pretty much think tanks with them. You know what I'm saying? Zerubbabel, all right? And they have these think tanks. And you got to think about it, bro. You got this magi over here, this guy, this sorcerer over here, and they're doing all this shit. And then you get Daniel coming up and he's breaking down like the dream with Nebuchadnezzar. And that gives a whole lot of leverage towards the God of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And then when the Lord put the spirit on him, and you got Daniel right in your ear, you got Isaiah right in your ear, okay? You got Jeremiah right in your ear, Baruch, okay? Well, Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying?
Reset real quick, guy.
Yeah, Baruch Shah.
So Daniel's 2 and 46, it says, Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him.
Mm-hmm.
The king answered unto Daniel and said, Of a truth it is that your power is the power of powers, and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon.
Yeah. And you got to think that just don't happen. And he's like, okay, I did this just because we read it and they don't say nothing about too much of it, that it went away. That goes into record books.
Yeah.
That goes and travels from king to king, So, and some kings are not as studious as other kings. All right. Just like from the gap between, who was that after Cyrus? Who was it? Cambyses or something like that? Cambyses, I believe. He was the one that didn't go, and he went into the record books. He was into, I forget what type of king he was. I think it was more into himself or battles or something like that. And then the king after that, I believe it was Darius, that was more into the record books. You know what I'm saying? He had more of a respect for Cyrus the Great, and he went into the account. And that's why, because the Jews were not Jews, the Israelites were trying to get the kingdom built back up, but the Samaritans and the heathen were hating, and they was trying to bring out accounts, but Darius was like, okay, well, let me go into the actual accounts. Let me go back to see what King Cyrus said. And he looked open the record book, and he seen that King Cyrus was like, hey, yo, nah, this is a pious reason why this needs to be done.
Mhm.
This is our legacy to help them rebuild this temple. It was prophesied, and the thing is that was so beautiful about it that the Lord had it prophesied that Cyrus was supposed to do it. And I want to rebuild the temple after our scattering, you know, and it's this thing like you didn't go off and say, oh, it's like, yeah, you went through it, but you were used.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they didn't just give you no shitty jobs. They took nobles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say when you go into Egypt, before we was in Egypt, Joseph was accused for adultery, and he interpreted the dreams of the two guys that was in there. And then when they got out, he pretty much told them, "Hey, tell the king, you know, don't forget about me," pretty much, you know. And then the king the pharaoh had a dream, and nobody could interpret it. And they was like, "Oh, hey, I remember such and such. He interpreted our dream. You got him locked up though." So boom, he came out, he interpreted that, and then he was set up as governor.
Mhm.
Once again, a right hand man as an Israelite. And what happened with that? His brothers came, he gave them grain and everything, and then we came down into Egypt. You know, well, the 70 souls went down into Egypt. It's like, and the Lord is just that's why he orchestrates everything.
He is that he is. He is the existing one.
Yeah.
Everything that happens, there's none that is made that is not made by him. You know what I'm saying? So let's get in yeah. Let's get into Jeremiah 25:8. Baba Kushar, let's get that. Because we're going into the Lord controlling the kings, man. Even Trump, all these guys, man. All right. The Lord got the spirit on all these, whether it's an evil spirit or a righteous spirit, you know. But the fact that you Christians don't understand that there is no hell that you go to on a spiritual level, that the Lord controls all spirits, even on the left-hand side. All right. Who shall persuade Ahab? Right. Christians don't get that. So it's like us saying certain things like this to go over y'all head, man. Y'all need to just stop trying to come up against us and shut up and learn, man. But y'all never do that because y'all are programmed by Esau's Christianity. Okay. But you go ahead. Whoever got that, Bible shot.
Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 8 says, "Therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, said the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant."
Yeah, well, his servant. All right, he was sent from the north, and often we sometimes they say North America, but this is talking about north of Israel, which is Babylon. You know.
It says, "And will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them and make them in astonishment and in hissing and perpetual desolations."
Yeah, and that what happens is that we get stripped of our powers. We get separated. Our land get deprived, ran down. That's a sorrowful thing to lose a war, man. It really breaks your nation, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because if you look at it, it's like just like these people that got the wildfires or the hurricanes, when those devastating natural disasters just wipe out everything for that you have and now you get sent to this place or that place, or even Hurricane Katrina victims, they were scattered due to that.
Yeah, that shit break your hope, man. That your school, your memories, you know what I'm saying? Everything that it's like it breaks everything. Especially when he came and tore down the temple. All right.
Because that's like the last stand. That's what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's the main two reasons of the abomination of desolation that really connects it, the destroying of the temple, because Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple and Titus destroyed the temple. Antiochus Epiphanes put up a abomination of desolation inside the temple, which is I believe speculated to be Zeus or a statue, you know what I'm saying, put in there, but that wasn't considered in reference in the book of Matthew 24 and 15. It was talking about Daniel's because Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple. Okay.
Well, even Antiochus Epiphanes himself, he was taken hostage after his father lost the war. You know, so that's just what happened. That's what happened with Alexander's father, Philip.
Yep, King Philip.
Yep, he was from Crete, and his father lost the war, so he went to that area of Macedon as a hostage, and was brought up with the ruler then, his sons, and was taught just like Daniel and the three holy children, and look at him. Then eventually he raises up to be the king.
Hey, and the same thing happened to what King Solomon. What I believe Hadad, the Edomite, pretty much he fled into Egypt when King David's rule, and then when King David passed, he found out that King Solomon's rule, and he came. And when King Solomon went off, the Lord put the spirit on that Edomite to come back and rise up and cause shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord is in control of these kings to do the will upon us, man. Like we're not under no random afflictions. All right, this ain't no random, vocab. The Lord got this a demon on him, man. Okay, that he's so diligent to come against us, and we are set at to defend the gospel.
Yeah, it's multiple stones. I mean, multiple birds with one stone.
Yep, he's a master chess player. Stumble blocks, born to those who stumble, and you know what I'm saying. Everything is meant to happen. But let's get Jeremiah. It's like Proverbs 21:1 and Psalms 28. Bible shot.
This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will."
Yeah, so you have to understand their mind, your heart is your mind. The Lord had control. Like he'll have you stirred up, because prophets are normally all around in these great kingdoms to prophesy against many countries, against kingdoms of evil and a pestilence. But every king ain't gonna listen. Just like right now, Trump them ain't listening to us, but it's meant to be that way because the Lord said he's gonna stiffen Pharaoh's heart.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna listen in this time, but Nebuchadnezzar listened when he had his chance. Cyrus listened when he had his chance. Cambyses didn't listen. Antiochus didn't listen. But he came around after he started getting afflicted with that. That don't count. Anybody will listen when they're getting their ass beat. So we can go ahead, Bible shot.
In Proverbs 21,
Yeah.
it says, "Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts."
Yeah, the Lord pondereth the hearts. Every way. Psalms 22 and 28.
No, definitely got that.
No, yeah, that's what I want. Psalms
28.
22 and 28. Bible shot.
Yeah, Psalms 22 and 28. It says, "For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he is the governor among the nations."
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, whether he's facing us or his back is turned toward us, he's still there. He's still present. Okay. Just like they said, where was the Lord during slavery? Nigga, his back was turned, nigga. Like if his face is facing us, that means he's going to be helping us. The real question is, why did we have to go in slavery?
That's the question, bro.
Jake don't want to get into that. They don't want to have no accountability. You got that female spirit on you, man. Okay.
You don't want to come to that light because then you got to reprove your dark ways.
yeah. Your deeds. You find out that your deeds are evil.
God, bro.
But the prophets see through that, man. All right. So we're gonna get into the 70 weeks. Let's read the 70 weeks real quick.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 24.
Because we read the abomination of desolation read in the book of Daniel. This is that precept that it was referencing Matthew's 24 and 15. And the point I wanted to bring out as well is that Yahweh Shah is referencing the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? And he was there, like the Old Testament had validity, and it still has validity. Okay. Because a lot of you Christians try to run around and sneak around these ancient prophecies. All right. Yahushua referenced Daniel's. There's another scripture say that that Israel shall be saved with the everlasting everlasting salvation, the everlasting covenant.
Everlasting salvation.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord's change of not. So there's things written in the Old Testament that's just blatantly saying he's only dealing with Israel. Okay. So
if you didn't want that vision.
if you got it, let's get it.
It's Isaiah 45 verse 17. It says, "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. He shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end."
Well, it's crazy because I was going to get into Isaiah 45 in itself, 45:1, which is beautiful. So we're gonna hold that, and we're gonna get back. And that's crazy. It's right here. It's call all y'all by Shemi Shai because it needs to be touched. Jake. It ain't all peaches and rainbows. Just because we're going through it don't mean the Most High is non-existent. All right. Doesn't mean that it's wrong because it didn't work out. Sometimes wrong needs to happen in order for right to happen. Adam, okay? The fall of Adam, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes wrong needs to happen in order for ultimate right to come through. Okay? But let's get that Daniel's real quick. Go into that.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression.
And that 70 weeks is 490 days, but those 490 days are respected as 490 years. Okay, and we could prove that in the book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 34. Somebody could get that, Baba Shah.
Numbers chapter 14 and verse 34, it says, "After the number of the days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise."
There you go. So that's showing you that 40 days is because niggas will be telling this for 490 days. It's like, nah, bro, you got to use some spiritual sense, because once you go from King Cyrus, in a rebuild, and you go about 490 years, that's going to lead you up to the Roman Empire, man. Going to lead you right into that Roman Empire. Okay, so let's get back to Daniel's Baba Shah.
70 weeks are determined upon thy people.
Yeah, 490 years. All right.
And upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins.
You see, to finish the transgression. Let's go into, what's that word for transgression?
When we go into transgression, it's Strong's 865-88, which is Pashai. It says transgression, rebellion, transgression against individuals, nation against nation, or against the Most High.
Yeah, let's get that in Baruch. I have Baruch 4. Even not you were sold unto the nations.
Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. Baruch chapter 4 verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies.
There you go. How else do you think you're just gonna be in Israel and they're gonna come out and they'll square up with you every 2 weeks? Nah, man, if somebody do something to you, they about to, like we was talking about, somebody knock you out, they're gonna strip you, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna humiliate you, they're gonna parade you, they're gonna show everybody they conquered you, man. Especially a king. Okay, that's a glorious thing for them to write things down, the Ark of Titus and all that. They're gonna drag it, all right, to show the rest of the world their power, especially when you're talking about the nation of Israel that was putting foots in other nations' tail parts, all right, through King David, man. King David had everybody around him subdued, man. Okay.
It says back in Daniel 9:24.
I was going to slide it because I was going to say in Revelation 11, when it talked about the two witnesses, being taken out of power and everything, that was the southern and northern kingdom, and it said that the nations rejoiced over that. They sent gifts to one another. All right.
Yep, because they get to run around freely.
You get the
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. You know, like there's nobody to check them. Have you out here, you know, plowing and doing all kind of, you know, servile work. You know, you got to keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can't celebrate this God anymore. All right.
Yeah, John the Baptist got into it with one of the Roman kings because he rebuked him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, about adultery. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, Herod Agrippa. You know, Herod Agrippa, the son of the grandson, the son of Herod the Great. You know what I'm saying? And he felt played, bro, because Jake gonna rebuke you, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're up in power. All right. You know, Jake, they do it today. You can't go around no end up mama and do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I know you ain't going out there, your clothes all wrinkled, and you know what I'm saying? Or like Jake have standards, man. Esau just wear his drawers to disintegrate, you know, going to the 13th tribe. You know?
So back in Daniel 9:24 says to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity.
So that's the ultimate goal, to make reconciliation for our iniquity through Yahweh Shai, you know, ultimately. All right. But, you know, what it said, a fallen way, let's get that. A fallen way had to come first, man. There could the kingdom of heaven can't come to there as a falling away. And that us scattering into the wilderness was the falling away. All right. The man of sin being revealed. Okay.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
And that goes into 70 AD. Okay. That falling away happened when the Archetytus, when Jerusalem temple was destroyed and they took all the victuals, and the Archetytus, which is something to commemorate, and it's a historical evidence that has happened. And Israel fled into the southern parts of, in the northern parts of Africa, you know, because one thing you go into history, Jake was in Egypt heavy. Okay. Was it Ptolemy Philadelphus? Okay, which goes back to the word Philadelphia goes back to brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? And his name was Philadelphus for that reason, because he showed love to Israel, and he was a man. The Lord had the spirit on him to want to show love and restore things, and the Lord had them. See, some of my brothers sent the precept
20 and 24.
Yeah, you know, but the Lord sent what I was saying,
Philadelphia.
Yeah, he put the spirit on Philadelphia to write the Septuagint. I believe I got that John sitting around. Yeah, it's right there, down in the right hand corner. Which is what's Septuagint? Was it 70 or
70? Yeah.
Yeah, which is like 71. It's the big blue book, right in front of you. Yeah. Yeah, which is pretty much something of this sort. It's something similar to Septuagint, where it's a Greek and a Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Wish I could find it. You know what I'm saying? But it's it has the Greek and the Hebrew up in it. All right. See the Greek. I don't know if I can, it's horrible. Y'all get it later. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm trying to turn this motherfucker. It's like cutting the back of your head, boy. There you go. You can see the Greek.
Yeah, it says, what does Septuagint literally mean? It says the Septuagint comes from the Latin word 70. Traditions hold that Ptolemy II, a ruler in Egypt in the 3rd century BCE, commissioned 72 Jewish scholars to complete a translation of the Hebrew Bible into Greek to be concluded in his library of Alexandria.
Yeah, so the Septuagint was a book that pretty much you know what I'm saying, was written. And but Philadelphus, when he wrote that book, it put the spirit. I mean, not wrote that book. He had the priest to write that book. It was a librarian that incentivized it. But when he did that and he called them, he actually was rebuilding stuff. He like did a new table for the shewbread table. You know what I'm saying? And he like built it immaculately. You know, he gave a lot of stuff back, man, and he restored a lot of things. Okay.
You grab a precept the brother put up there.
Yeah, Baba Kushah. Did you double check it?
Count. Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Call Yabashim Yashah. Yeah, the man's going is of the Lord. All right. So again, to sit there and say, well, where was God during slavery? He was there. You know, he was just moving the other side of the chessboard. You know, and the Lord's he's dealing the whole time, man. He's always present. Okay, constantly existing. So let's get back to Daniel 9 and 24. Oh, 9 and 4. So I get.
So it says back in Daniel chapter 9 verse 24. So I'll go back down to where I was at. It says, I'm meant to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
Yeah, so let's get Romans 5 and 8 for the anoint the most holy. Okay.
Romans chapter 5 and verse 8. But the Most High commended his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Hamashiach died for us.
Yeah, man. Like that's how he brought that reconciliation. That's how he fixed everything. And the most holy was anointed in many ways through the crucifixion. But hey, the clouds opening up. This is my son whom I'm well pleased. Okay, the baptism. You know what I'm saying? Like Yahushua is that most holy. All right, and ultimately, him being crucified was that anointing because it fulfilled the prophecy, man. All right, it got everything back on track from Nebuchadnezzar all the way up until that point. That got everything back on track. All right, but the beginning of the end started when Yahushua. I mean, not when Yahushua was crucified, but mainly when the Ark of Titus. Mainly when the second temple was destroyed. That was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the last days, man. You know what I'm saying? The last days started around that time. All right. And that should tell you like how the timeline of the Most High works. The last days started during the Roman Empire.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So don't think you got as much time as you think. You know?
Yeah, we're at the end of this thing, man. All right, we're at the latter end, man, and everything is manifesting. You Christians are stuck in slavery, bro. Like we are far past that. Y'all still, you know, those times are for those times. This ain't the time of civil rights and coming together. It's over with. That you can't remix that. You can't make that same bowl of noodles. It's over with. You know, but let's get back into Daniel's, Baba Kushah. Oh, Salaki, because I wanted to reference that King Cyrus was the beginning. And I really wanted to pick a pit stop there. So let's get into Ezra chapter 1 and 1, Baba Kushah.
This is Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. It says, Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord Yahweh by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord Yahweh stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it in writing, saying, Thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord Yahweh of heaven had given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he had charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem.
Yeah, it said he have charged him to build a house at Jerusalem. You go ahead, brother.
Which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? His power be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord Yahweh of Israel. He is the Most High, which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods and with beasts, beside the freewill offering for the house of the Most High that is in Jerusalem. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, with all them whose spirit the Most High had raised, to go up to build the house of the Lord which is in Jerusalem.
Yeah, now, everything must be filtered through the scriptures. Okay, so I got to say that first before I say the statement of that the Lord didn't, it says that right there, but there was more detail to it, in an account of in the Josephus, which we're going to get real quick, shows you, because it wasn't like he just rose up like the Undertaker and then say, you know what, I feel like I should just have all Israel rebuild their temple, because the Lord put the spirit on me to. There was a process, a method to the madness. Okay, and so I read in the account of Josephus, it says the book 11, containing the interval of 253 years and 5 months, from the first of Cyrus to the death of Alexander the Great. All right. So it says, in the first year of the reign of Cyrus, which was the 70th from the day that our people were removed out of our land into Babylon. All right, because King Nebuchadnezzar also removed us. We was removed in the Assyrian Empire. We was removed in the Babylonian Empire, and then we was removed in the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, so that was a lot of displacement. That's a lot of different gods. That's a lot of different areas and a lot of different ways. Okay, and customs. So when we go into First Peter's, and I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, but I am not. All right, because in First Peter's it tells you what 1:1. Let's get that real quick.
This is First Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach, grace unto you and peace be multiplied.
Right, and let's get into same book, chapter 2. All right, so those strangers ain't talking about that's people of Pontus and Asia. We were scattered in those lands through all these captivities. Jake has to understand that, but you guys that are in these churches don't go into history, man. You don't go into these accounts. You just take what Esau give you, and it's crazy. You'll go to their school, but you don't learn shit, man. Spend all that money on that schooling, but you still come out dumb as hell. Okay.
Sophomore.
Yes, a wise fool. Yep.
You wanted something in the next chapter out?
Yeah. When it's talking about the proselytes, because you had a vocab trying to say that those were, people who converted to Judaism. No, those are Israelites, man. All right, those are Israelites that were foreigners. Okay. Yeah, that's chapter 2. I get it. You could just put in proselytes and it'll get you close to it.
Acts. Okay.
Oh, damn. Well, I said Peter's. Yeah, it's like it.
This is Acts chapter 2, verse. I'm gonna go to 7. It says, and they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born?
Now we're going into Cyrus in particular, but the same thing, we were carried off into Babylon. We were carried off into Syria. All right. So you think Jake ain't gonna speak the Syrian language? You've been there for a long time. All right.
Yeah.
That don't make any sense. You're there for that long. Nebuchadnezzar gave Daniel and them different names.
Yeah.
So like, how much more of a language? How are you gonna buy food? Like the Babylonians is gonna start speaking Hebrew for No,
for your
bro.
sake.
Yeah, like nah. This is how you say water. This is how you say this. This is how you say that. And then you spend enough years there because we'll get it because there was an account in the transition of Jake coming back to rebuild. A lot of Israelites did not leave Babylon because of their goods. You know, meaning that they preferred to stay there instead of going back to Jerusalem to rebuild.
Yeah. We spoke about in the 2nd century AD, you had Israelite communities in Judea, in Alexandria, in Babylon, in the various places around Asia and Europe.
And who says that you sitting here and you're in Babylon? Okay, I done built this house. I got my family here. I got all these. So I'd rather stay here. I got this company, or I got this business, or I got this land, and I would rather stay here than to go there and rebuild. But I still believe. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't exist. That's what the case was, and that's why these men were showing up during the Pentecost. Because why? You got to show up 3 times a year: the Passover, the Pentecost, and was that the Feast of Tabernacles? You know what I'm saying? And that's 3 times a year that everybody had to turn around and meet up. So if you know, okay, I don't stay here, but I'm about to come and pull up, and that goes into the scripture in the books of Moses when it talks about strangers, and it's got 2 different type of strangers. It's like, man, come on, man, Jake got to read, man. You know?
Yeah, man. Even in this chapter that we're going into, it says it plainly: Jews, devout men under every nation.
Yeah, but they flip it and say, okay, they were converts. They became Jews. Right. It's like, nah, bro, them people were Jews by nationality, by bloodline. Okay? By gena, by the sperma, by the seed. Okay?
You had Paul, who said that I'm a Jew from the tribe of Benjamin, who's from Tarsus, which is in eastern Turkey.
Yeah, and they omit that. They don't want to grasp onto that concept like it don't exist. And Paul is sitting there right in front of your face, being an apostle to the Gentiles. Okay? Approved of Peter. And he's telling you his situation, and his situation is not too far. As far as different from a lot of those Gentiles, because he knew he was an Israelite, but he was a Roman citizen. Okay.
I gotta get this out. This is Haggai. I'm gonna just get to the point. Maybe Haggai 1 and 2. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, this people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. Then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, it is time for you, O ye, to dwell in the sealed houses, and in this house lie waste. Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Lord. Ye looked for much, and lo, it came to little, and when ye brought it home, it did blow upon it. Why, said the Lord of hosts? Because of mine house that is waste, and ye run every man into his own house. So Jake didn't want to go build the temple. They wanted to sit in their own houses. They was established.
It was settled upon their leaves, man.
Settled upon their leaves.
Because you're feeding another. It's like working for another company instead of working for your own.
Yep.
You know, like you're not going to get paid. You know, you're a company driver, you're an owner operator. They get this 2 different pay gaps. You know what I'm saying? And you got the nerve to sit here and say that you're a truck driver, but you don't own no truck. You know what I'm saying? You can't say you're an Israelite and you ain't restoring Israel.
Exactly.
You know, you can't sit here and be an American Israelite, man.
Yeah. You
got to put off, come out of her, my people. Okay. And this is what all this is what we're dealing with. It's this prelude is just a total climax, but it's more on a spiritual level. Our people are not here spiritually, man. They're in Babylon, or they're in democracy, or the beast in its image. They're in there spiritually, and we're trying to pull them out of these lands, man.
Yeah.
The land where you celebrate Christmas, the land where a woman is equal to a man. You know, Rome in its reincarnation, man, because the same energy was in Rome, man. Jake was bugged out in the mind. That was really the beginning of the changing of the mind, repentance. Okay.
Finishes Acts 2:8, and how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia and Egypt and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes.
Yeah. So and that's they heard everybody in their own tongue, because these men were born in Babylon. These men were born in Parthia and in all these other places. So that's the language they spoke. And the Lord put the spirit on Peter and them not to do no vain babbling, but to speak full Syrian, speak full Babylonian language, because there were other languages that exist. Okay. Now it was mainly Greek, Hebrew, and Latin, but the Syrian Empire existed.
Yeah.
So that, like the Syrian language existed. Moab existed. So Mandarin existed. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't the main language that was used in that time. Okay.
Did you want to get that proselytes?
Nah. I mean, Apostle Ramla went over it.
Okay.
And if y'all want to be edified, you'll go into that beautiful, beautiful breakdown as usual through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But yeah, that proselyte, pretty much it's Israelites, man. There ain't no person that converted to being an Israelite. Those are Israelites, foreigners, man. All right. So I wanted to get into Isaiah 45:1 because let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna read this in the Josephus, and then we'll get into Isaiah 45:1. All right, it says in the first year of the reign of Cyrus, this I think I mentioned didn't I mention this already?
Yeah.
Okay, it says which was the 70th from the day of our people were removed out of their own land into Babylon. The Most High commiserated the captivity and calamity of these poor people. The Most High did. Okay, He bringeth down to the grave, He bringeth up. Okay, according as He had foretold to them by Jeremiah the prophet, before the destruction of the city, that after they had served Nebuchadnezzar and his posterity, and you can read a lot of that in the book of Baruch. Okay, it'll get real specific about Nebuchadnezzar's role in our calamity. All right, it says in his posterity, and after they had undergone that servitude 70 years, He should restore them again to the land of their fathers, and they should build their temple and enjoy their ancient prosperity. And these things the Most High did afford them, for He stirred up the mind of Cyrus and made him write thus throughout all Asia. Thus saith Cyrus the king, since the Most High Almighty hath appointed me to the king of the habitable earth, I believe that He is that power. You see, the Lord we read in Ezra how the Lord put the spirit on Cyrus, and it's really to be inclined to the scriptures, just like Nebuchadnezzar, his spirit was inclined to Yahweh Shem Yahushai through situations with Daniel's. Okay, and Cyrus was inclined to take heed to the scriptures. Just like we was referencing, like these presidents in the United States, who wasn't inclined to believe in the scriptures. They didn't wake up and say, you know what, let me listen to the Israelites. For them, it's a different case. Let's get that Romans was it 9 and that He hardened Pharaoh's heart. Because it's not the same as Nebuchadnezzar and Cyrus. The Lord put the spirit on these leaders of the world to be the opposite, to be stiff-necked like Pharaoh, man. Okay.
Romans chapter 9, verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth.
And whom he will, he hardeneth. These rulers is not, so y'all ain't gonna be able to march our way. Y'all gonna be able to buddy. These rulers are meant to come down having great wrath, knowing they have but a short time. They're trying to establish the MOTB. They're not trying to be woken up and moved by the prophets. They're really meant to come up against the prophets. It's already written, man. All right. So what about this? The Lord's got us all coming together. That don't make no sense, man. When the devil is about to size up and really come with his maximum amount of force.
Yeah, you want everybody to come together.
Yeah, and anybody who believed that foolishness. Now, continuing on, it says, I believe that he is the Most High. This is Cyrus said, which the nation of Israel, with the nation of the Israelites worship. For indeed, he foretold my name by the prophets, and that I should build him an house at Jerusalem in the country of Judea. This was known to Cyrus by his reading the book which Isaiah left behind him of his prophecies. For this prophet said that the Most High has spoken thus to him in a secret vision. My will is that Cyrus, whom I have appointed to be king over many and great nations, send back my people to their own land and build my temple. This was foretold by Isaiah 140 years before the temple was demolished. Accordingly, when Cyrus read this, all right, and admired the divine power and earnest desire. And this is crazy because, you know, people question the Bible and the validity of it, but there's a lot of prophecies that is proof from the Syrian, the Ptolemaic Syrian wars, or the Syrian wars with the Ptolemaic and Seleucid empires, and it gave a whole account in the book of Daniel's, and then that happened in time of the Greeks. You know, like that's like archaeological evidence that this book prophecies have been fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? But people always written by men. It's like if that's why Lord said, if I have come to another nation, surely they would have believed, man. You know, but Israel is a stiff-necked rebellion, y'all a bunch of niggas, man. Because it's clear cut that these prophecies are coming to pass and that this book is truth, man. And if he could see that by a prophecy about him, how much more our people by a prophecy about us? Okay. So let's get in that account in Isaiah 45:1, because this is the reference of that account that Cyrus read. Okay, and like I said, he didn't just do a sit up and say, you know what, I'm about to rebuild the temple. No, it was prophesied, and he had prophets around him to break it down and let him know. Okay.
44, yep.
This is Isaiah 44:28. It says, that saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and he shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple thy foundation shall be laid.
Come, beautiful. Let's keep going.
Isaiah 45:1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of the kings, to open before him the two leave gates, and the gates shall not be shut.
Yeah, and that's talking about the temple and the city. Okay, we rebuild Israel, and the temple is, you know, where the gates is pretty much the entrance of the city. All right, we will be reestablished. All right.
I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in asunder the bars of iron. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call thee by name, am the Most High power of Israel. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name, and I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
There you go. Because Jake was bugging out, man, during the Babylonian Empire, Syrian Empire. All right. But the Lord redeemed us. All right. And the falling away happened again, or not falling away, or the affliction happened again through the Hasmonean dynasty. Okay. The Hasmonean dynasty, and we fought back Hanukkah, such and so forth. And Jake still, and it had a way more deeper rooted effect, and it caused it a Gentile state, you know what I'm saying, with Israel. And then eventually Yahushua was crucified, and then Paul, and that brought Jake back. And then we dispersed again because of the 70 AD in the destruction of the temple, you know, and Jake dispersed to northern Africa. You know, you got the Byzantine Empire, you got Mali, you know, with Mansa Musa and all that they talk about. You know, all that has a relationship, and that's how we ended up in West Africa, and that's how we ended up, because we was warring with them. They made a proclamation that we shouldn't be in them lands, that we have to be Muslim, man. You know, so that it's like anytime the Lord turns back on us, it has a lot to do with us losing our culture, us being scattered. We lose our possessions, man. You know. Just like when Esau lock your ass up, man, they'll freeze your accounts and all that, man.
Yep.
They take your life away.
There's no hedge, the possession is spoiled.
Yep.
Verse 5, I'm the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I'm the Lord Yahweh, there is none else.
That was the whole point, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the ultimate point when he does this, because this is going to be the last time that we're going to be restored. This restoration is going to be permanent, man. All right, we ain't gonna no longer be scattered. All right, we're no longer going to be a byword and all that, man. The Lord's taking all that away, man. All right, and these heathen don't want to see that, because they know that's going to forever be the case, and we're going to forever. You can't call us niggas, you can't call us slow, lazy, you know, like you ain't gonna be able to say that. All right, because bulk of the time it ain't true, and if it is, it's incentivized by his wicked inventions, you know.
Yeah, and that's why we say often through the spirit. But Esau Edom, that's why he's fighting tooth and nail, you know, to try to keep his kingdom going, because he knows what's coming forth. That's why he fighting against the chariots, trying to get the prophets off the streets, trying to hinder prophecy, because he knows what's coming.
Yep.
You know? Just don't have that off that. You
know? No, they know in their spirit, man. Sure. You know, but you go ahead.
Verse 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. Drop down, ye heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation. Let righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord Yahweh, have created it.
There you go. So let's jump to 17, and we're going to get the rest of this, and we're going to close it on out. But 17, Babakshah.
Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
So this same prophecy and relationship to the 70 weeks, now all of a sudden it just changed to heathen. This out the blue. There's no contextual clues to say that was the case. Nowhere. It's just that's what Esau has said, and Jake take it as law. Damn devils, man. Devil got Jake bugged out, man. All right. And if you control the narrative that heavy, it's really no way you can really get around it outside the spirit of the Heavenly Father. All right. But you go ahead, brother.
No, I want to say it says the Most High controls the deceived and the deceiver.
Yep, the deceived and the deceiver are his. You know, he's always the existing one. All right. So we're gonna continue in this Josephus, and we're gonna, if brothers have precepts after that, get them ready. It says, when Cyrus had said this to the Israelites, the rulers of the two tribes of Judah and Benjamin, with the Levites and priests. Why is it was Judah, Benjamin, and the Levites? Because the northern kingdom left when Shalmaneser during the Syrian captivity, okay, to keep the laws. That shows you that Jake was bugging out, man. You know what I'm saying? So, because the Northern Kingdom left to keep the laws, and they came to the Americas. All right, went in haste to Jerusalem, yet did many of them stay at Babylon, as not willing to leave their possessions. And when they were come hither, all the king's friends assisted them and brought in for the building of the temple some gold and some silver and some great many cattle and horses. So they performed the vows of the Most High and offered the sacrifice that had been accustomed of old time. I mean this upon the rebuilding of their city and the revival of the ancient practices. You see, the revival of the ancient practices relating to their worship. Cyrus also sent back to them the vessels of the Most High, which King Nebuchadnezzar had pillaged out of the temple and carried to Babylon. So he committed these things to the Mithridates, the treasurer, to be sent away with an order to give them to Sanabassar, that he might keep them till the temple was built, and when it was finished, he might deliver them to the priests and rulers of the multitude in order to their being restored to the temple. Cyrus also sent an epistle to the governors that were in Syria to the contents of whereof here to follow. And that shows that, you know, these decrees were sent out to these other kings, but there was record. All right. And that's how, matter of fact, I'll read it. It says, I have given leave to as many Jews to dwell in my country as please, to return to their own country and rebuild their city, and to build the temple of the Most High Jerusalem on the same place where it was before. I have also sent my treasurer Mithridates and Zerubbabel, the governor of the Jews, that they may lay the foundation of the temple and may build it 60 cubits high, and of the same latitude, making 3 edifices of polished stones, which King Nebuchadnezzar pillaged out of the temple, and have given them to Mithridates the treasurer, and to Zerubbabel the governor of the Jews, that they may have them carried to Jerusalem. Now, this is another thing that came in my spirit just now. So what you think Zerubbabel's in the backyard playing soccer? He was one of the nobles, man. Okay, Israelites was up there, cupbearers and all that, man. All right. It says that they may have them carried to Jerusalem and restore them to the temple of the Most High. Now their numbers is as follow: 50 charges of gold. I'm not going to read all that. It says, I'm going to get to point 4. It says, I permit them to have the same honor which they were used to have from their forefathers. All right. And that's what we're going back to, man. You know, we're spiritually dispersed now. Our people in all kind of, you know, mentalities, and we're right next door to each other. You know, they're part of the alphabet community. They're Mormons, they're Muslims. Okay, so we're speaking to the Jake and get them rebuilt or rebrung back in. But ultimately, they're going to get destroyed and be brought back in the right way. All right. Ultimately, all Israel is going to be saved. All Israel is going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, whether you're 2/3 or the elect. The elect just is going to pass through a proper way, and the 2/3 is going to pass through the horrible way. You know, Abarat is we amongst the hopeful elect. Okay. It says, as also for their small cattle and for wine and oil and 205,500 drachma, and for wheat flour 20,500 atrebe, and I give order to these expenses shall be given them out of the tribute of Samaria. The priests shall also offer these sacrifices according to the laws of Moses in Jerusalem, and when they offer them, they shall pray to the Most High for the preservation of the king, which is himself, and of his family, that the kingdom of Persia may continue. But my will is that those who obey these injunctions and make them void shall be hung upon the cross. So any hater, he was talking about killing, man. Trying to stop what we was doing, and their substance brought into the king's treasury, and such was the import of the epistle. Now the number of those of the captivity of Jerusalem were 42,462. Okay, that's a lot of people, man. All right, and at the end of the day, if they had a governor saying, "Nah, man, I ain't with that shit," he would have hung them. So the Lord had the spirit on the kings to restore us, but through the departure and the Lord turning his back, man, we had to lose. We lost our ways. We went under the constant affliction and things of that nature. So yeah, that's all I wanted to bring out. If anybody's have any closing precepts,
Yeah, I did.
let's get it.
It's the book of Psalm 75, verse 6. It says, "For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another."
That's right, man. So ain't nothing in your power. You trying to sit there and slander us. And at the end of the day, the Lord's going to bring back Israel. We're going to rule the world. Lord's will, we must hopefully elect the first fruits of that batch. But Israel and the whole entire world is going to be under Judaism eventually. All that, you got a problem with how Jake marry women and deal with certain women. You got a problem with the order of the household. You got a problem with who's ruling. None of that's going to be up for argument or discussion, man. All right, so that's what we're waiting and hastening for. All right, with that being said, we're going to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakadash, double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers at that teaching and enduring truth sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.